We're seeing more people vaping, and that includes kids. Those as young as the 5th grade are smoking the electronic cigarettes. In Missouri, a recent survey of high schoolers found 40% of them are using vape devices.
But where in our area are kids getting these products? They're illegal if you're underage. News 4 investigator Lauren Traeger goes undercover tonight.
Do not record me. Stop the camera.
Some store clerks were surprised to see News 4.
How come you didn't check for his ID?
I don't know.
After we sent 2 young KMOV employees undercover to stores all around the St. Louis area
You guys sell Juul pods?
to see whether or not they'd get carded to buy vape.
Do you guys have any Juuls?
Yes, we do.
Raise your hand if you've seen someone vaping in school.
Teenagers we talked to say vaping is everywhere.
I don't really think other drugs at middle school are that big of a deal as vaping.
On their social media feeds and even in school.
I've just been in the bathroom and you'll look and there's just smoke just coming over the stall and it's oh, you must be vaping.
Some popular brands like Juul emit very little smell or vapor, making it more discreet.
They'll sit in class at lunch out in the commons or anything, and they'll just hide it underneath their sweatshirt or something.
The products, though often billed as a means to quit smoking, contain high concentrations of nicotine. 1 Juul pod, for example, equals 1 pack of cigarettes. That means addiction can take over quickly.
It triggers that same part of your brain that any other addiction does, and so it kind of begins those behaviors.
Erin Kelly with Step Up St. Louis, a local group tackling drug use, says vaping tops the list among teens.
And that's where they're saying this is starting, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. As a mom, it was terrifying to find out that this was a problem.
But electronic cigarettes, like all tobacco products, are illegal to buy unless you're 18 in most places. In St. Louis County and St. Louis City, local ordinances recently raised the age to 21. So where exactly are these teens getting it? One answer: from each other.
People put them on their Snapchat stories all the time, selling this, hit me up if you want to buy it.
These kids are essentially becoming dealers.
This local mom asked to be anonymous.
My son, who is 16, he's been addicted to juuling for 2 years.
Her son started selling to other kids, she says.
And these kids are just going in every day, one after the other, just getting this product.
After consistently getting vape products from one local store.
Just how easy was it for him to get these products?
Oh, very easy. He said he just walks into the store and they sell to him, no questions asked.
In fact, nearly 30% of middle and high school students recently surveyed by the state of Missouri say they simply buy vape from a store.
There are certain gas stations where they don't have strict policies about selling to minors. So kids will be oh, go to this store to get your stuff. They'll sell it to you.
Thank you.
Bottom line, do you think there needs to be stronger accountability for these stores?
I think we all need to take a very strong stance and make sure that these groups know that we're not going to be okay with it, they're going to get in trouble, and we're watching.
So that's why we decided to put some local stores to the test to see who would check for ID and who would sell vape with no questions at all. Our undercover employees, who both are of age to buy, went to 10 different retailers.
Can I do a pack of mango?
Especially for these, I have to scan ID.
5 passed with flying colors.
Yeah, can't sell it without it, buddy.
But at 5 of the stores, there was barely any hesitation.
How much are the Juul pods?
These?
Yeah.
$16.99.
Perhaps the most concerning, this store called Habibi on Lee May Ferry. It's located directly across the street from Melville High School, and it's already been sanctioned by officials for selling to minors 3 times this year. At least he asks.
You have an ID?
But when our undercover employee says he doesn't.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, just do me a favor and bring it in next time.
But when we went in to ask about it, the clerk just denied.
No, I checked his ID.
No, we're with him. We know that he didn't have his ID with him.
No, please do not record me because I'm not, you didn't ask to record me, so I'm not, don't put me on it.
He clearly didn't want to talk to us.
We are a health department and it is our job to protect the public.
In St. Louis County, officials attempt to do compliance checks on 50% of their roughly 800 tobacco retailers every year.
I wish we had the resources to do it more often than that, but that is not our current situation.
Limited manpower, Shannon Franklin says, makes it difficult. But holding retailers accountable, experts say, is critical.
Yep.
Even teens say they want a crackdown on stores.
You can't just walk into a bar and be like,
hey, can I just get a drink? No, they're probably going to card you first, or they should. And it's just the same principle.
17. Thank you.
Those who sold without asking for an ID
I just made a mistake, and I normally check all the time.
There you go.
say they'll now remember next time.
Will you be checking IDs from now on?
Oh yeah, I'll remember.
Currently, there are fines for both store owners and store clerks who fail compliance checks, but advocates are working on legislation that could strengthen those penalties in St. Louis County. There's an upcoming hearing on it. We've got information for you at KMOV.com. In the meantime, want to tell us about how this issue impacts you or your family? You can email us at investigates@KMOV.com. I'm Lauren Traeger, News 4 Investigates.
We reached out to the company Juul for comment. Here's what their spokesperson told us. We are committed to preventing youth access of Juul products, and no young person or non-nicotine user should ever try Juul. In November, Juul announced strengthening retail compliance, including imposing financial consequences against retailers caught by the FDA selling to minors. We have a list of the retailers who did not check IDs in our investigation, as well as their responses on the KMOV News app.